We are live. I've got the silver fox, Mr. C, frantically scrambling from his 5-star hotel in Colombia. And apologies in advance for the audio, because I've lost my headphones. You've lost your headphones, so we're gonna have to.
We kind of planned our losing of headphones there, and so we
guys,
did that perfectly.
Yeah, if guys are listening, if you can comment on the audio, I know it's going to be quieter than you want. Me and Mr. Fox will speak up, but just let us know if you can actually hear us at all, because obviously if you can't, we've got issues. There you are, you're back. You froze a bit. How are you doing, Mr. Fox? It's been a long time since we last saw you.
Dude, I think it's been a year since you in Boca, and we got into trouble, and I got my phone stolen and all that shit. It was good times.
Good times. What has happened? Where have you been spending lockdown for the past year?
So I had a client in Costa Rica. One second, let's get comfortable. I had a client in Costa Rica about a year ago, last March. And then I bounced out of Colombia for 2 weeks. And then 2 days before my return flight, they closed Colombia. So then I was stuck in Costa Rica. So I went back to Canada for about 8 months, which sucked. I got a lot of work done because I didn't want to date any of the gringo girls. And then I came back to Colombia. I've been here 6 months now on the coast.
Right.
In Divine.
Okay, that's great. The feedback we're getting is the audio is a little on this side, so it's going to sound weird, but if you shout a bit more.
Okay. How's this if I talk it about that level?
Let's get some feedback from the guys. Can you hear Fox better? Are you talking that loud? It doesn't sound like you're speaking that loud.
I'm talking pretty loud. Let's see. I'll see how far away the tables are eavesdropping, and then we can see how loud I'm talking.
So yeah, I mean, let's run through some things. So I mean, how is Cartagena at the moment? Like, you're out there, you're obviously
I would say,
coaching guys.
As far as foot traffic, it's down about maybe 70%. So it's probably 30% of what it used to be, which is still one of the most delicious places on earth, but definitely not as good as it used to be here. As far as COVID shit, nobody's really scared about COVID. Most people have had COVID already or know someone that has, like almost everybody here. And so there's not really any fear around COVID. You just have to sometimes wear a face mask. It's really funny. Like, you can go into a bar and they'll make you wear a face mask to enter. So it's like for about 6 feet, you put a face mask on, you open the door, you walk in, everybody's got their face masks off and they're partying. So like literally for 5 feet at the door, you put on your face mask and then rip it off.
Doesn't make any sense, does it? I mean, I'm in Rio and we shut the beach today, so there's no one on the beach, but then all the bars are open, so everyone's mingling in the bars. So it makes absolutely no sense.
Dude, it's even better here. They've got a long beach here that has like maybe about 6 beach areas, and 4 of them right now are closed because of COVID. You swim there. So if you swim there, they come and run over and say, hey, get out of the water. You're not allowed to use it because of COVID. And they send you to the 2 beaches that are open and full of people because of COVID.
Absolutely.
It's so funny.
So for those of you that maybe haven't actually seen you before on the channel, you know, what's kind of like just a brief overview of your story with all this stuff, just as a refresher?
Super fast overview. So about 4 years ago, I was in a marriage with a very spicy Latina woman from Mexico City that was cute and small, but definitely mentally unstable, emotionally unstable. And I didn't understand much about femininity and masculinity. I was just in the learning process back then.
Right.
And a lot of it from being in Mexican culture. And I was like a typical Canadian, like fully egalitarian in my views, and very men and women are the same, blah, blah, blah. The same progressive bullshit, woke bullshit. And that's how I was living and dating and doing my marriage. And it was extremely toxic to me. And yeah, it was a horrible situation. And these kids running around are not mine, just so you know. I don't think so anyway.
You don't think so?
Let's see, they're over 3 years, and I came here the first time 3 years ago, so we're clear.
Nice.
So yeah, then I got out of that marriage, thankfully, and then I got into daygame just because I was 41-ish or so at the time.
41 when you got into daygame.
Yeah.
Fuck. And so a lot of guys will be thinking, fuck, I've missed the boat at that stage. Were you thinking that when you got into it, or were you like, no, it's okay, I've got this?
I don't know. At the time, I don't think it really occurred to me. I kind of felt like I was getting my shit together more in life than I ever had. And now, if there's a guy watching this, I'm 45 now. I don't know, maybe we'll put some pictures up later or something, or you can show them some videos of mine or something. I date extremely hot women here. That's why I'm here. I'm here specifically because I think Colombia has the hottest women in the world. And I date 18 to 23 usually is kind of, I don't know, sometimes maybe a little bit older if she's stunning. But they're all, I think, 9s and 10s for me. And I never could have done that before when I was younger. Just because I didn't understand, you know, like when you get older, your value goes up if you're doing things properly in your life. Like if you're really integrated your masculinity properly, you'll be much more attractive. I date tons of girls that are like 22 and she would never date a guy that's like under 30. Like they'll openly tell me that. They're like, I hate guys my age because they're so feminine. I ask women that shit all the time. And I'm always surprised. The girl I'm going out with tonight, going out with her in about an hour, she started following me on Instagram. So I messaged her on Instagram and just said, wow, you're really cute, blah, 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 blah. We started talking about 2 weeks ago, back and forth, and now we're going out tonight. Yesterday, she asked me, how old are you? So I always say to a girl, well, how old do you think I am? And then I add a year. And she said, I think you're 40. So I said, oh, yeah, I'm 42. And she's 21. So I'm literally double her age, obviously. And there's no issue with it. You know, like to girls like that, they like it because there's a lot of qualities that a guy develops in his personality if you're intentional about it, that a guy usually can't develop when he's like in his 20s. You just don't know yourself well enough. You know, I didn't know myself well enough. You know, I started developing this in my late 30s. So things like boldness, courage, and confidence.
Yeah, I think you inspire a lot of guys, especially the guys that maybe think, oh, fuck, I've come out of a marriage. I'm mid-late 30s. I can't do that. And you're basically a poster boy for, yeah, you fucking can. You know, and anyone thinks that, you know, you need to be some absolute superstar to be able to do that is in denial. It's about really mapping out, I guess, the areas you need to work on and then just fucking almost confronting those areas, life coaching yourself, isn't it? And then just knowing what you want. You know you like Colombian women, so obviously no-brainer, set your lifestyle up to be in Colombia where you can be surrounded by these type of women, right?
Yeah, that is one thing I think you have to realize first off, like you're saying. You know, a lot of guys get pissed off because it's naturally to just get angry at shit. The feminist movement, Biden got elected, whatever. You pick something and blame it for the way that your dating life is shit. And in reality, what you need to do, like you're saying, is take personal responsibility. And you say, okay, for you love Japanese women. Okay, but don't get pissed off that you live in and there's no Japanese women in your city. Don't get angry that the government has made it difficult for Japanese women to immigrate. Like that's what guys usually do, you know? Instead, you just kind of so like for me in Canada, there's not a lot of Latinas. There's not a lot of very feminine women because femininity isn't traditional. And so I could be angry at that, lash out, and I could go on social media and say, all women there. Or I just pay $500, I got on a plane and land both, and I'm surrounded by beautiful women. You know, so I think that's the first, like you said, the problem is not the way the problem is, what do you want? Where do you got to get to what you want?
Right.
And if you're living in Milwaukee and you're not surrounded by the Ukrainian girls that you want, then you're a fucking idiot because time is short. You change your life around, move to you want to be, and then you walk down the street. Like I walk down the street here and 10 gorgeous women, like, and they're all extremely deliciously feminine, young, beautiful women. So it's much easier to meet the kind of woman that I like here than in Canada.
Right. That makes sense. Can you move slightly, Mr. Fox?
Yeah.
The internet went a bit suspect there, just in terms of the image.
Tell me where it's good and I'll try and stay there.
I mean, it sounds fine, but we're kind of a bit of a delay image.
I do apologize, guys. This is, I'm in a really nice hotel, so I just assumed the internet pickup would be really good as well. Is it better over here?
Yeah, let's see if it settles down on the image. It's like you're a 2D 1980s video game. That's slightly better, maybe.
You can call me Atari Fox.
Sorry. And yeah, what's interestingly linked into how you built this lifestyle, because you basically sold all your shit and just packed up and moved to Colombia, and you actually help guys. Well, you explain how do you help? How did you get financing for it, and how do you actually help guys do that as part of your job?
Well, I love it because I think day game and overcoming and dominating in your finances is very, very, very similar. I mean, they're slightly different journeys, but most guys have a problem with one or both. And both of them usually are connected to a guy not really understanding how to integrate his masculinity. So when you integrate your masculinity properly, you get a lot more freedom with women and you get a lot more freedom with money. It's kind of the same skill, you're just reapplying it into both areas.
Right.
So when you get a lot of growth on a day game boot camp, that growth usually ripples into the way that you interact with people, like your boss. When you ask for a raise, you're not afraid anymore because you can approach models. So your boss isn't intimidated, you know? So usually I try and look at it like a holistic thing. And so we say, okay, I really hope this isn't prophetic that these kids are hanging around me. Porfa Dios, yo no quiero. So I usually approach it like a holistic thing. We go, okay, what kind of women do you like?
Right.
Where does that going to set you up? Maybe you want to move to Japan. Okay, what are the obstacles you need to overcome? And usually you need a lot more freedom around your work. And so many guys are stuck in a employee situation, and COVID has been really explicit. It's proven to a lot of people how vulnerable they are. They thought that they worked for the city or a university or something with stability, and then all of a sudden their stability goes to shit because of a flu virus.
Right.
And so we teach guys how to make money in crypto, in Forex, in other ways, so that you can be totally independent. You can live where you want to live. You make your money online and you work. Ideally for me, you work a very small amount and then it covers the costs that you need to live, and then you're financially free.
And we'll put links to this. We'll put links to this below, but just I'll put the email here quickly if guys do want to get in touch with it. It's Fox at UpperTier. Yeah. .club.
Yep.
Okay, sure. Sorry.
I have no idea why I didn't go with .com.
Yeah, I like it though. It stands out, right? It's memorable. So not to interrupt your spiel, where are we up to?
Yeah, I think it's relatively easy to get financially free, especially now with technology and all the shit that's going on, especially with crypto. And I mean, I worked for 25 years to get financially free in business. And for me, financial freedom is not, I have yachts and I have houses all over the world and shit like that. That's just not what I value in life. I value total freedom. For me, that's my highest priority, is having total control over my time. And if I want to lay in bed all day, I can, And so that's what I teach guys. And basically, you need to know how much you need every month to live on. Let's say you need $3 or $4 grand a month. And then you just need something that's putting a bit more than that into your pocket. So maybe 20% more than that goes into your pocket every month. And then you're financially free that month. If you can do that consistently, which is quite easy to do after you learn a little bit, then you can live that way. That's how I live now. So like you say, I sold my stuff up in Canada. I shut down a construction company I had there for about 20 years. And I shut it down maybe 3 years ago.
Right.
I kind of started pivoting it downward 4 years ago, and I actually shut it down maybe a year and a half ago. And then, now I just travel and do day game coaching a bit on the side and hit on lots of birds and do some Forex crypto stuff. And I think now here in Colombia, I'll set up a small crypto arbitrage exchange. So it's going to be really fun.
So if guys want to know more, best thing to reach out to the email. I'll put the link to Mr. C, Silverfox's company below, and also the email address again below. So guys watching this in hindsight, just get in touch with him direct, and you will take it from there. To hop on a phone call with them, explain exactly how it works, and hopefully, a lot of guys are whining and bitching about COVID, but I see it as a massively positive opportunity, because if guys are now basically don't have to go back to a working office culture. You can fucking live anywhere you fucking want. If you're watching this channel, you're interested in building the dating life and building the day game stuff, pick a place where, if you like Russian women, go to Moscow, go and set yourself up in Kiev. Get in touch with us. We'll teach you how to meet people, how to become more emotionally social intelligent, how to date on your own terms. And then there's another string to your bow. Get in touch with Mr. Fox about the financial freedom stuff, because you're a prime example of a guy who's actually taken this stuff and used it, and you make money from this, and you purely basically bring in other guys to do that as well and teach them the same thing. So you're not giving the guy a fish. You're fucking, like we do with day game coaching, you're teaching him how to fish. And that's incredibly rewarding, right? And that's you love helping guys, and that ties in. It's all interrelates, the day game, the dating, building that reality, and the financial freedom as well.
Yeah, I think it all comes, that's where the fun is, like I got, I guess in my own definition, kind of financially free maybe about 2 or 3 years ago.
Right.
And for the first 6 months, that was probably when I first started touring around with you. And so we had a lot of crazy stories. It was super fun. I was doing a little bit of coaching just because it's super fun for me around day game stuff. And then I went back to Canada after a little while, and I think I was about 8 months in, and I kind of just hit me. I was like, wow, I don't need to work. Like I could just stay in bed for 5 months if I want, or whatever I want to do, stay on a beach or whatever. And it gets boring. Like I can understand why people, like I haven't made millions and millions of dollars, but I can understand why actors make millions and millions of dollars, or NBA or something, and then they blow their head off with coke or something, because your whole life is this quest to get free, and you're fighting your boss and the government and everything, right? And then finally you get free, and then it's like you have this moment of, well, now what? Like what the fuck do I do now? And your brain, I think, kind of goes a little bit crazy in that moment, because you either are going to turn to drugs and shit to just kind of try and cope with that kind of existential crisis, or you do something else. And so for me, that's when I pivoted and started getting into financial coaching. I'd always done it informally, but 2 or 3 years ago, I started building a brand around it, because I wanted to originally create a course where guys could get free within a year.
Right.
And a community of guys doing it together. And I think I started doing that, one, because it was fun, and two, because I just needed a new project.
Right.
I needed something to pour myself into. And I'm really passionate about seeing guys find freedom. I fucking love it. Some guy like me. So if there's a guy like me right now on the channel, you're, let's say, late 30s, early 40s, you're married in a marriage, and it is fucking shit. She's a bitch. You're only with her because if you leave, it's going to be so expensive. You're going to lose your friends. You've got 2 kids, whatever. You're trapped. That is totally me. We didn't have 2 kids. You did get pregnant toward the end, accidentally. But that's totally me. And I went through the fucking bad gauntlet divorce. Like when I left, Supreme Court, she was going for $10,000 a month child support or spousal support. Nearly bankrupted me. I lost like 90% of my friends because of the way that the situation was framed.
Well,
even though I tried to do it the right way, I tried to be good. I was never an ass. So if you're that guy, then that's basically the exact guy that I enjoy coaching with, because it's kind of like me helping myself 5 years ago through a jam that I needed somebody for. And I was lucky. I had a few friends that stepped up and stepped in and intervened and really helped me through, because the first year I was kind of a mess. I was a mess, but to me, that's what's fun now. Like for now, I enjoy making money. But not even that. I don't even enjoy that much, but I enjoy dating gorgeous women. That's that I enjoy a lot. But I really enjoy seeing a guy that thinks his life is hopeless. He can't do it, whatever. And then he has that aha moment, and it's just so fucking cool to see the guy change, I love that shit.
Super cool. And on that note, hey, Silverfox, how direct an approach are you able to get within Colombia? So if you guys are joining this now, Colombia is spelled wrong. We're not talking about the place in the US. We're talking about Colombia as the country. This man in front of you is Mr. Colombia, in the sense that you spend 99% of your time in Colombia, and then occasionally I'll drag your ass to a different country, and you'll be like, give it a good shot, and then you'll be like, oh, I've got to leave. I'm like, where are you going? You'll be like, I've got to go back to Colombia. It's just too good. Yeah. What is your approach? Because you come across, you teach guys to be quite charming. What I liked about you when we first met was you have this kind of holistic approach to this stuff, where you're like, you want to be able to walk into a room and charm people. You want to be kind of the charming, charismatic guy. And as a side effect of being that man, developing those social skills, you're going to get women, right? So how, I guess, the average guy who hasn't been to Colombia, what would he expect, from, well, I mean, yeah, what's your approach to start with in Colombia? Is it different from other countries, or do you treat it all the same? Do you have to pivot because it's Latinos?
So my natural state, like I'm a romantic. I love romance. I love seduction. I love the energy of it, the emotion of it. I love when you meet a girl. It feels like you're in a movie, and I die for that shit, right? I'm not one for one night stands and picking up chicks in bars and clubs and stuff or any alcohol. Wow. I really like meeting a girl and being just blown away by how feminine she is. Because I've got lots of girls that I interact with, I don't get one-itis in the same way usually, because I can have one-itis for the night or for the weekend, but then I know I'm seeing so-and-so on Monday, and then I can have one-itis with her for 3 days, And I love having relationships with girls that are like 2, 3, 4, 5 years long, and we see each other for a crazy intense romantic week, and then I don't see her again for a couple months, and then I see other girls, and then I see her again for a weekend when I'm in her city, and just do it over and over again. And I'm a part of her life. I love that shit, right? So it's almost, especially because I'm like double her age, there's a paternal aspect to it too. I'm protective. I'm kind of guiding her as she grows up. Never anything financially. Like I never stray into the sugar daddy shit. Like for me, the maximum I do, we go out, I pay for dinner, I pay for coffees. We go to cheap places. She comes to my place, I cook for her. That's basically about it. I don't pay money to girls. I think that's kind of gross. But to answer the question, which I can barely see because the font is small.
So how direct an approach are you able to get within Colombia? So basically what he's asking is, when you see that gorgeous woman strutting past, you're drinking a coffee, what do you say to her? Do you open in English? Do you open in Spanish? Do you open with quite a hard compliment? What do you typically do?
So I'm extremely direct because it fits with my personality. So when I'm outside of Colombia or outside of Mexico, I have to tone it down. I don't realize that. Like when we've been in Vegas and stuff, I'll still do the same thing. And then I'll be like, whoa, I think I come off like an extremely cheesy, like Pepe Le Pew. Exactly. Like I can come off like that fucking guy, right? So I tone it down when I'm in other countries. And so I don't really enjoy it as much because it doesn't feel as authentic for me. Right. When I'm here, I just fucking let it go. And I'll be extremely direct. So a girl walks by right now, I'd say loud enough that she hears it. If I'm walking by with you or we're sitting at a table, I'd say, oh, dude, I'll be right back. I go over to her. I usually physically stop her. So if she's walking by, I grab her arm, which is pretty aggressive, and I'll grab her arm, make eye contact, and then I'll say whatever I think about her. I'm always honest with her. So, but I'm diplomatic and I'm charming, but I'm pretty over the top. So I'll usually say to her, even if she's with a guy, it's even more fun if she's with a guy. I'll say, excuse me, I have to tell you, like maybe sometimes I'll say, do you speak Spanish? Do you speak English? Yeah, sometimes I'll say, I don't really think about it, but sometimes I'll say, disculpe, hablas inglés? Excuse me, do you speak English?
Right.
My Spanish is shit anyway.
How is it? You've been in Colombia for years on end. It's like the only man to somehow not learn fluent Spanish being there that long. It boggles me every time.
I was with a buddy the other day that's Venezuelan, and I said something in Spanish on the phone. And then he looks at me when I hang up the phone and he goes, dude, I think your Spanish is actually worse than when you got here a few months ago. And I was like, yeah, I think you're right. It's just not that high on my priority list. It's not that important to women. Like words are not how you communicate with Latinas.
Very true. And that brings us on to another point, which is, it's such an expressive culture, right? So if guys are coming over to work with you, they're going to be blown. And by the way, Clint is Mr. Fox is open for sessions. So if you want to do that, get in touch. info@jamessussup.com. I'll put you in touch. We'll put us on a WhatsApp group. You'll jump on a call. It is open. Colombia is fully open now. I can't go because I've got a Brazilian stamp in my passport because I'm in Brazil, and they're not allowing Brazilians in. But most other countries you can go. So if you're from the UK, I'm pretty sure you can't go direct, but you could do the whole jump to another country. A lot of countries are, Colombia's open. You don't even need a PCR test to get in. You can just swan in. So, Bogota was pumping. A girl sent me a video the other day. Medellin's pumping now, completely open. Cartagena, obviously, you're there. You've got the ability as well to travel around a bit. Like if there's a client who's obsessed with going to Medellin, you can pop down there, Santa Marta, Bucaramanga, other spots. But yeah, for guys that are coming to Colombia for the first time, one of the things that blew me away was just how expressive people are. When a woman likes you, she really makes it clear, doesn't she? She almost stares into your soul. She makes it blindingly obvious that it's game on. And it's great. It's a great place for guys to train with a bit of anxiety, I reckon.
But I think it's a good place for guys to learn about the difference between masculinity and femininity. I can honestly say 90% of the guys on this channel have never met a feminine woman.
Really?
I had never met one until I was 33 and I met my ex from Mexico.
Right.
And that was literally the first feminine woman I'd met in my life. And I dated lots of girls before that, you know, from Canada, but never feminine. And so the difference is she'll communicate much more emotion in the way that she's interacting with you. So yeah, you'll be able to read things in her and stuff, but feminine women shit test way more.
Really?
And so because it turns them on. It's like they dress the way they do and they walk the way they do because they know it turns guys on because we're visual. But they push your buttons to see how masculine you are because it turns them on. They want to see you handle the situation in a masculine way because it gets them wet. They fucking love it. You know, and so a lot of times like a woman will make eye contact and not look away. Like, I mean, for a long time, even if she's walking arm in arm with a guy, as you walk by, she'll make eye contact for like 30 seconds. I mean, that's like without saying anything, as you're like, maybe you're sitting at a table across from each other or something, she's not looking away. She's just like staring into you to see what you do. It's the same as me flirting with the waitress casually, you know, like I'm not going to fuck her. If I'm with a girl on a date, obviously I'm not trying to pick up the waitress, but I'll still flirt with her because I enjoy her feminine playfulness. You know, or I can do that with even if a girl's in the wrong age group, like she's too young. I discover she's too young. I can still talk with her non-sexually, obviously non-sexually, but I can still enjoy her feminine playfulness, even if she's 15. Like, I'm not going to sexualize it. I'm not going to get her number. We both know it's not going anywhere, but she's very feminine and cute. And I'm just appreciating that she's an adorable girl, you know, like there's nothing wrong with it. Right. But women here will test. And so it's a great place to learn.
I'm just switching the lights on. Give me 1 second. Put a bit of light in here.
Many guys who have gotten a sense of entitlement from being in South, especially when going back to the West. I don't think it's a sense of entitlement. Entitlement's a very feminine mindset because entitlement is like, I deserve. It is basically, look at the feminist movement. I deserve more money. I deserve better jobs. I deserve blah, 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 blah. A masculine mindset is very different. It's like, I don't deserve shit. You don't deserve shit. None of us deserve shit. I can make things happen. So I make things happen. Things don't happen for me because I deserve them. It doesn't happen for me because I'm the height I am, or I'm white, or I have $10 in my pocket, or I have a shirt on that has a logo. None of that shit works for guys. I make things happen because I'm a masculine man, and that's what we do. We discover, I want to make this happen, and then I make it happen. It's like you look at Elon Musk. He's quite masculine in many ways. Mm-hmm. Why? Well, because he makes shit happen. He didn't say, like, I deserve to have a rocket company. Give it to me. He said, I think the world needs a rocket company. I'm going to fucking make one. And then he went balls to the wall and he made one, which is very masculine to do. And investors like that, and women like that too. And so I think, but that does bring up a good point. If you come here and you interact with very feminine women, it will ruin your taste in women. You will discover it's like you've always been eating at McDonald's, and then finally you go to this 5-star buffet, and then you go back home and they don't have any restaurants like that. It's all McDonald's there. And you will just have, like, I went back to Canada in March. I don't date Canadian Blanquita white women just because I'm not attracted to the energy. They can be beautifully and stunning, but I'm just not attracted. There's no fire. And so I went home in March. There's no Latinas. I went on 3 dates with 3 different girls. We went home to my place. We had sex. Even in the middle of having sex, I was like, is this as good as it gets? Like, this is eating cardboard. This is not even worth my time. And so I just literally went monk for 5 months because there were no girls like the girls I like. And I'm just like, oh, fine. I'll just play on video with the girls I like that are in Colombia and then save myself for them when I get back. You know, and so it does ruin you in that sense, but that's not a sense of entitlement. That's that you discover that you put in a lot of work so that you can enjoy the fruit of having high standards and enjoying those high hanging fruit. And then you just don't want to have low hanging fruit anymore, not because you're entitled to better, but because you're reserved for better because you've made yourself better. I think that's the part that a lot of guys miss. You don't deserve shit. You don't deserve beautiful young women because you have a dick. Because I'll enlighten you to the fact that 4 billion other guys have dicks. So that doesn't entitle you to shit. But if you become really masculine, then you have the opportunity to give her your gift of masculinity, which women love. And then you can be very selective which women you give that to. And I think you should be. So maybe that answers that.
Yeah, I think just to touch on that as well, there's a perception that if you say go to Thailand, and it's kind of true, as a white guy going to Thailand, white guy with a bit of money, you can bang a lot of women, you can. If you go to Colombia, there's this sort of belief amongst North Americans that Colombian women are super easy to bang, blah, blah, blah. They might be just be a bit more sexually liberated as a country, but the sexual market rules are still in play where you go to another country, you still have to have massive value to be dating and meeting the top tier women. There's no way around that. There's no shortcut. There's no hack. Everyone's obsessed with this idea of this pussy paradise. It doesn't exist. Your value comes with you. Yes, you might have a bit more value on the open. If you're in Colombia, she might give you a bit more time because you're white and you're a gringo and you're a novelty. But you still have to have your shit together with understanding how this stuff works. You still have to have your shit together as a man. So, no, I don't think it's easier per se in somewhere like Colombia. Maybe Thailand it is. There are some spots, say Southeast Asia is easy to bang. It's a particular type of lifestyle. But I wouldn't say Colombia is necessarily easy. You can have sex with lots of women, but are they going to be those top tier women you're after? Probably not if you haven't got your shit together.
Yeah, there's always money is on the table, right? So if you're going to a poor country, Thailand, where there's lots of poor women,
right,
and those women are willing to do anything for $10, oh, you're going to be a stallion because she's probably going to get $10 out of you, and you can fuck as many women as you can see. To me, that's got nothing to do with day game. That's got to do with prostitution. It's a very different game. If that's what you want, if you just want to get laid, and you don't want to put in the hard work to become a better version of yourself, well then yeah, day game's very inefficient way to get laid. So go to Thailand, pay some money, date a bunch of prostitutes and get laid and get a disease and go back home and happy fucking life. To me, that's a waste of a life. If you come to Colombia, you're not going to find it like that. I've actually met some Colombian guys that, really have their shit together in life. I went to a party around Christmas and this guy's there and he's just kind of well dressed. Everybody here is really well dressed, especially in the upper tier. They're incredibly well dressed. So I go into this party and it's all the upper echelon of this city. I went with a friend. There's maybe 30 people at a private mansion, done up to the nines with a caterer and everything. Really nice. And so I go in and I start chatting with this guy that kind of just looked like an average guy, whatever. We're chatting. He's a cool guy. I work my way around the crowd. I come back and he's talking to these two girls that just walked in. One of them is smoking hot, fucking divine. He's like maybe 32. She's probably 18 or 20. And she's with her friend. So I walk over and I tap him. I'm like, hey, dude, are you with either of these girls? Because I want to join the crowd, but I don't want to hit on his girl. He's like, yeah, I just hooked up with the one in black yesterday. Oh, cool. So I start talking to the other one. She seemed a little too serious. She was a lawyer. And so there wasn't a lot of fire. And okay, that was that. Then I found out the guy that the girl that he hooked up with was Miss Colombia, like literally now Miss Colombia. And I was like, so I saw him at another party. So I was like, dude, you got to tell me the story. Like, how'd you meet the girl? How'd you go? It's like, oh, well, when you go to these parties, because he's in the upper tier here financially, when you go to these parties, these other girls are always at these parties. You're all from rich families or whatever. They're always watching you. And then she just, on like the third or fourth party, she just came over and she basically said, hey, you look like fun. Let's go. And we went and we just fucked and that was that. It was great. And I was like, so now the point of the story, I went to a few of those parties. I had zero chance with any of the girls at the parties.
Right.
None. I tried with like 2 or 3 and then I decided, wait a second, these are great business contacts. And I started actually doing day game on the guys because there's some really good business contacts that I made. I made 4 great contacts, one of which that I'm doing business with now. So I pivoted what I wanted to do because I can be selective and date girls when I want to date them, right? I can turn it off as well. And but that's a classic case of like, I'm at a disadvantage here because nobody knows me. I'm not in people's social circles. I don't have status here and shit, right? I'm just a gringo, like lots of other gringos. So, your white skin does not give you any advantage here. or your English speaking or your foreign passport, right? Unless you're dating really poor chicks like you would in Thailand. And if you're paying them, yeah, you're going to have an advantage, but no advantage over a guy that has some money that's Colombian. He'll pay the girls. They'll do whatever he wants for them too. That's prostitution.
Right. That makes sense. There's a good question here from Anon, and he says, one for Flint. Do you reckon what Western feminized women say in the US, UK would reject dating a much older guy, or you reckon it's the same as South America? So essentially, if you did just like, you woke up, so I hit you in the head with like a fucking baseball bat, and you woke up and you're like, actually, I really like Canadian women that sound like Jordan Peterson, and you're like, right, I'm going back there. Could you get away with basically dating the age of women you date in Colombia, in Canada, or you think there's a stigma there?
Well, there's definitely a stigma everywhere. There's a stigma here as well. And
really? I thought it was more acceptable in, say, your Colombias, your Russias, your Ukraines, your Belgrades, to maybe you do have that kind of age gap, and it's not frowned upon like it would be in the UK or the US.
I think it's frowned upon mostly everywhere, because the idea of creating a more egalitarian society has infiltrated most places. Brazil, Colombia. I mean, we were thinking this shit 40, 50 years ago. You know, Brazil, Mexico, Colombia, they're being fast-tracked into it the last 10, 15 years.
Right.
You know, women's rights, all that kind of stuff. It's not a bad thing. So just so you'll have that social stigma, I shouldn't be doing this. And then you just give her the opportunity. Well, you know, most girls want that. Like a lot of girls. I talk to girls. Many girls. Like I've been with, I don't know how many girls, over a dozen for sure, that have never had an orgasm before.
Really?
She's like 23 years old, because I love getting to know girls really deeply, right? So that's one thing I'll usually talk about with a girl before we've even had sex. I'm like, when was your last orgasm? Some girls will say, oh my God, I can't remember. Some girls will say, I've never had one. So then I'm just like, oh, well, let's go take care of that. And it's fucking amazing.
That does look like your cum face at the moment.
What's that?
The audio cracked out a bit, so we just missed what you said. I'm hoping it comes back in now. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, 1 second. I got an alert. I got to shut off. 1 second.
No, it's all good. You just had a brilliant still. It looked like what I imagined your cum face would be. Oh no, we've lost the fox.
Just give me 1 second. I'm bumping my date back 30 minutes. I'm running.
Okay, yeah, tell us how long you got. We've been going for 37 minutes as well. We've got a good cluster of guys watching, obviously intrigued
I can
to see
keep going, no worries. Give me literally 2 seconds to fire her a text and bump her back half an hour. I'm running late.
Cool.
Let's meet there.
I also like the way I'm talking to now at Shadow. I'm just going to answer, while you're doing that, Mr. Fox, I'm just going to answer Niall's question. How many approaches do you get rid of that anxiety? I'm assuming you mean approach anxiety, that feeling of...
There we go.
Yeah, good. We're just going on Niall's question. How many cold approaches do you get rid of that anxiety? So you're still... Can you hear me okay? You're still like...
Yep, I can hear you. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can, but the image is... Maybe now. Let's see if it settles down.
It probably has to cache or whatever, like to kind of catch up. But I'll just talk a little bit until... If you can hear me verbally, I'll just start answering the question.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter if I mean, it's just actually more funny than anything, seeing like kind of like, 1980s Street Fighter blockchain, the blocky graphics of you kind of like just doing stuff, but we can still hear you actually quite well.
Well,
how many approaches? Yeah, you can have. If you walk around, then I can. That's brilliant. You look like a John Wayne, a modern day John Wayne, instead of sucking on a fucking cigarette, you're sucking on a fucking coffee cup. That's better. We've got you.
Well, this is good. I literally just walked back to the first place to grab my stuff to bring with me.
For fuck's sake. There you go.
No problem. I'll just...
This is good now. Any of this is good. Like you're fully compass lenses. Yeah, okay. That's great.
So
how many approaches? How many cold approaches do you get rid of anxiety?
I think it's a really dynamic process. I don't think it's static. And so guys like to think of things static because guys in this channel are probably like engineers and accountants and business people and whatever. And so you look at a problem as a guy and you say, okay, how do we fix this problem? So if your problem is, I don't know, you need to boost revenue or cut expenses 10%, then you make those changes and then you're good going forward. But this is extremely dynamic shit. It's more like going to the gym. So I could ask you, how many bicep curls do you have to do to have good biceps? It's like, well, I don't know. Maybe you need to go there for 3 months doing them, but it depends. How much weight are you doing? How hard are you doing it? How many times a week are you doing it? And then if you're eating at McDonald's every day, you know, and you stop going for 2 months, all your gains are gone, you know? And so I think it's dynamic like that. Like when I went back to Canada, I took 5 months off because there just weren't, I kept going around doing gay game, but there just weren't, you know, I would interact with people, but there just weren't 9s and 10s in Canada. We had no tourists. There was no, right. I would walk around for 8 hours and not seeing a single stunning woman. So I couldn't do what I like to do because there just wasn't the women there. And so I just decided eventually to just take about 5 months off. So when I got back here, man, there were parts of my personality that were completely flabby and shut off because I just hadn't used those social muscles for like 5 months. They just atrophied. And so the difference is once you've done a lot of this and you've got a lot of stories under your belt, you know that it's like, okay, I know things will work. I just have to kind of work the system and I know it'll get working again. The same as you. If you got an injury and stopped going to the gym, then 5 months later you go, okay, well, I'm going to go back to the gym. I know what to do at the gym. And I know if I just do the stuff, if I just do the stuff, I know I'm magically going to have good biceps again. You know, I think it's very much like that.
Yeah, I mean, JP's not particularly happy with me. I had an enforced injury, but I've absolutely been smashing it in terms of extracurricular activities, in terms of alcohol. And for 6 weeks, I've gone absolutely crazy. So I've piled back on the pounds. You can't see it, but I'm not the lean, ripped version that JP crafted me into. So JP, if you're watching, I kowtow. I will not eat that brownie tonight or do that thing going to Mendes or drink that beer. But just to answer the question, actually,
you never eat brownies. You're more of a blanquita type.
I'm more of a cheesecake guy. Not a cream pie guy. More of a cheesecake guy. But going back to Niall's question, I think I completely agree with what Fox said. You know, that we are the sum of our habits. You can't be good at something you're not doing regularly. It's about frequency. Far better to speak to 2, 3, 4 girls a day every fucking day. And you are the sum of your habits. And that anxiety, you don't want to kill it because you should use it as a kind of a. When you see that 10, right? I don't want to use kind of 10 and 1 terminology, but we will for this analogy. When you see that beautiful girl, you always feel those butterflies because it's the same physiological effect as excitement. But the industry has deemed it approach anxiety. It should really be called approach excitement. Your body's not lying to you. You only feel that fluttering of the stomach, the increased heart rate, the sweaty palms, because you know when you're attracted to that girl and your body's going to fight or flight, it's like, right, are you going to do something about it or you're not? You never feel it for that unattractive girl. So just being consciously aware of how you feel, your DNA doesn't lie to you, and then you being like, I feel that feeling, that should be me approaching. That's a far healthier interpretation of this stuff, in my view, and a far more effective way to kind of manage it, because it never goes away. You could take fucking beta blockers to block that feeling, but fuck it, why would you want to? You don't want to dumb down life, right? So
I think like when you have that view, you miss the point. The point is you're feeling fear. Right. You can label it what you want. Oh, it's not fear. It's approach anxiety. Fuck you. It's fear. You're afraid. And in my opinion, the best way by far to build your if you want to look at your masculinity like a muscle, which I think is a pretty good analogy. Right. So you've got your masculinity muscle, which is kind of funny. It makes me think of that guy that you know who I'm talking about, that you partnered me with from, you met him in, where was that? Budapest. And you sent him to me in Vancouver. Anyway, he was taking injections on his dick to give him a bigger dick.
Oh, and, Jesus!
Remember the dick pump?
Yeah, the count. He just disappeared. I don't know what happened to him.
So the funny thing is, literally, he was doing things that you can do, which I didn't know you really could, to increase his masculinity muscle. But this is a way that you can increase your masculinity muscle in a completely different and far more important way. Right. And the best way to do it is identifying a fear and then overcoming it. So it's the same. You go to the gym and you go, okay, which dumbbell do I use? Well, if you use the 2-pound dumbbell, it's super easy, but it's going to do nothing. So you go, okay, you try the 10, you try the 20. Okay, 20. Oh, that's hard. Okay, you're going to do your reps with the 20, right? Right. And if you keep doing that, a month later, the 21 is easy. Now you got to go to the 25 or the 30, right? And that's what day game is, and so when you go out, you see a girl and you go, okay, this 70-year-old woman, I feel no fear. It's a 2-pound dumbbell. And so you go over and fine, you can give her a compliment, you interact, and that's fun. I recommend doing that with guys, with girls, gay guys, whatever, right? Be social. But recognize you don't have any fear, so you're not a stallion, right? But then you see that one person and she's like a 50-pound dumbbell in the gym and you go, oh my God, I can't lift that. That's like I'm terrified. It's like it pushes me up way past my comfort zone. The minute you feel that feeling,
right,
what you end up doing, you never get rid of that feeling fully. Now I barely ever feel that feeling normally. Then you start getting more and more creative to try and trigger that feeling, because that feeling is actually how you grow. You have to trigger that fear. And when you trigger that fear and then you do the action in spite of the fear, that's how you grow.
Right.
So for a guy like me or you, I'm never going to feel that fear when just a woman's walking by and I stop her and start talking to her. Like you've seen me. We went out with the former Miss Colombia while we were here. I stopped her and she was with a guy on her arm and 3 of her friends. I wasn't afraid in the moment because I was really good energy and having fun. But you start trying to figure out what you can do to trigger your fear, to feel the feeling of overcoming fear. And so I'll get into like hitting on girls on a date. Like the guy goes to the bathroom. I was with a client the other day and there was a girl and a guy at a table beside us on a date. And I said to the client, okay, I'm going to hit on her if the guy goes to the bathroom or if she goes to the bathroom. And so then my client says, oh, she went to the bathroom. So I go inside and it's like a little tiny bathroom off to the side. And I go inside and I catch her just at the right time and I interact with her and I get her number and I come back out. And just as I'm coming out, I haven't even hit save on my phone. And I walked by the guy that was going there to see her, like her boyfriend, walked by him on the stairs. And I was like, holy shit, I still had her name and number open on my phone, right? And I wouldn't advise that. That's like, you're in Colombia, it's probably a good way to get shot or beaten up. But it's just one example of like, okay, let's get a little bit more crazy to trigger your adrenaline and your fear, And so make friends with that. Don't take beta blockers to try and block it. Like that's fucking insane. Don't take alcohol to try and dim it. You want to feel it, because when you feel that, it charges you. And then you say, so the feeling speaks to you. And so it's like, oh my God, she's too hot. Everybody's going to laugh. She's got a boyfriend. There's no way it can work. And then you look the feeling in the eye, you say, whoa, I feel that fear. Holy shit. Fuck you. And then, said that kind of loud. And then you do it anyway. That's extremely masculine behavior. And I think that's ideally never goes away, because you just keep upping the ante. Now you approach girls with their family. Now you approach girls whatever in public. Now you approach girls up on the stage at a wedding. Now you approach girls like preferably not the bride.
Eva, I've seen you approach some crazy situations, literally flocks of 15 women, because you want to test yourself and just push that fear. And there's a book that you actually recommended called Feel, I think it's written by a woman, not sure her name, but Feel the Fear and Approach Anyway. Or so.
Yeah, Feel the Fear and Do It Anyway. Amazing book. Just
really
about
good.
life.
Recommend it.
Yeah, huge. I forget who's the author. An amazing book.
We'll
read that 15 years ago.
We'll link it below. Trapper says, Clint, have you ever felt any advantage just by the virtue of being a little bit older than some single men?
Well, there's 2 things there. Do I feel an advantage because I'm single over other single guys? Or do I feel that I have an advantage because I'm older over younger guys? I feel I have an advantage because I'm me. And by that, I mean, I took the last 4 years and invested, I don't even know, like, I tried to calculate one time and I forget what the number was, but I think I'm probably over like 5,000 or 8,000 hours into doing this. So I invested a ton of time and effort and energy into it. And now I have an advantage over people that haven't invested time and energy into it.
Right.
If you're 25 years old, you're going to school full time, you've probably invested 100 hours into this. I have a tremendous advantage over you because I've invested 8,000 hours into it. It's got nothing to do with my skin tone or my eye color or my height or anything.
You do have sexy eyes, though.
What's that?
You do have sexy eyes. Like 2 blue lagoons staring into my soul.
You know what I've found? This is a really funny thing. I never got complimented on my eyes ever in my life.
Really? I'd say they're your standout feature if I was looking
until about 2 or 3 years ago. And then all of a sudden, like every girl we'd be talking and I'd say, what do you like about me? Or what do you like about men or whatever, right? And they'd say, oh my God, your eyes are insane.
Because you fucking learn to communicate on that higher plane, which is indirect communication. And you're able to look at a girl and talk about the weather, but you're projecting a very sexual intent. It's the same with the other folks as well. And it's like, they said the same thing, which is suddenly girls are commenting on their eyes, but really they're commenting on what you can do with your eyes.
Really, they're commenting on the feeling that they feel when they look at you.
Yeah, that's so
and
cute.
It's got nothing to do with my physical eyes because I didn't change them. And yet, all of a sudden, that's become the thing. That's the first thing that most women always say. And usually, I've had women that I've literally picked up just with my eyes, like super fast. One I didn't even talk to. We were just staring at each other's eyes, and I just typed in my phone. That was a crazy story. That's when I fractured my shoulder, and I was walking.
Hold on. How did you sexualizing eye contact end up with you fracturing your shoulder?
Okay, so I just learned how to do that just by being here with Latinas and practicing. Right. And I don't really know how I learned it. It's just I think you just learn it by doing. And so I was walking with a friend and we walked into a square and there's a bunch of people partying and there's this girl sitting with a guy on a bench. And as I walked by, me and her lock eyes. And I just stopped with my eyes locking to her eyes. She's obviously with the guy beside her. And I'm just staring at her. I mean, this is for like 30 seconds. And so then I just walk over and sit beside her. Don't break the eye contact the whole time. I take out my phone and then I look down at my phone and I type in my phone, are you coming to my hotel later or am I coming to yours? And I just put it in translator. I just held her up and she looked at it and her eyes went like, bing. She looked back at me in my eyes and I was just looking at her. And then she looked back at my phone and then she took my phone and she said, well, I have to take my friend home to his hotel, but I could meet you in 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
And so then I took her number and then I left. Literally, I didn't even say a word. It was like a challenge to myself. I didn't even say a verbal word to her. And I was like, holy fuck, that was so ballsy because it could have been her husband beside her, right? And I wouldn't recommend doing that. But then I borrowed my buddy. He's got like a little moto. I borrowed his moto to go back to my hotel to get condoms and some cash because I needed it for a taxi. And I had an accident. He's got this little like electric moto, like 20, 25 kilometers an hour.
Right.
And I had this thing and I hit a huge hole in the road and I flipped and I crashed my shoulder and it fractured my shoulder blade. So I didn't know I was injured. So I just took a couple painkillers and a beer. And then me and her go back to my hotel later and it's going really well. She's naked. She's on her back. I'm naked. Go down on her. She's going crazy. She's like literally begging for it. And I couldn't move my arm. Like it was throbbing pain, but like if I moved my arm like that much, it was like a knife in my back. And so I tried like 8 times. I literally couldn't have sex because I'd just start moving and I'd move my arm and it would be like, ah, and she'd be like, are you okay? Are you okay? Yeah. I'm fine. And I'm like sweating from the pain. And then I couldn't stay hard because it kept hurting so much. So I like literally couldn't have sex with her. It was like, I swear God was laughing. He was like, dude, this is that was a bad night.
Going back to, just wanted to touch, I know we're going back slightly in time here. You've invested a lot of hours into learning this stuff, which puts you ahead of a lot of men. But a lot of guys that we work with, half the battle is if they're a corporate guy, so they work in a job where they've got to a high level in what they do, they understand that time is by far the most valuable asset. So when you get them on the phone and they want to learn day game because they've watched me or you on YouTube on the channel and they resonate with who you are as people because we try and put that message of normality. In order to talk to women, it's a self-respect issue. 21st century man, come on, get your shit sorted. They love that message and they want to hang around with us because they consider us cool guys. Then they meet us and they realize we're fucking weirdos. But still, you know, the wall's been pulled over their eyes sufficiently. But they get on a call and they know straight away. There's no like having to tell them why to get coaching, right? Because they understand the value of you give your accountability and a step-by-step process, and they give you money. That's a Val Daltra. That's a no-brainer. But I guess the struggle we have for younger guys who aren't necessarily in that corporate world or haven't run their own business is actually kind of show them that they're not going to be able to teach themselves this stuff, that they can 10x the speed at which they learn it by working with us. And that's actually half the battle. Because once they understand that, they're like, yeah, no brainer, I'll come to Colombia, I'll get on a plane, right? But that's often a frustration for me and for you, isn't it?
I think it's, there's a classic kind of saying, or at least I think it is, in business, if you want to get ahead, if you want to make a lot of money, you need access to other people's time and other people's money. So OPM and OPT, other people's money, other people's time. And And that's just the way it works. So if you want to build something like Amazon, they've got a system that gave Bozos access to all different people's time. And he makes money off each of those person's time investment. He makes $1,000 off each of his employees and pays each of his employees $100 of the profit, whatever it is. Right. And that's why he's so wealthy. It's not because he's rich and capitalist and blah, blah, blah. It's because he's a smart fucking dude. And he understands how to capitalize on his investors' money and on his employees' time. And so it's other people's time, other people's money. And this is the same scenario. Like if you want to get ahead in life, you need to capitalize on other people's time. Right. That's how the successful people do it. It's just a no-brainer.
No-brainer.
That's essentially what you're doing. If I hire you as a coach, you've already put in 10,000 hours or 20,000. You've put in way more. You've probably put in like 30 or 40,000 hours into this shit. You've been doing it like 7 or 8 years full time. So for another guy, you just simply look at Tusk and you say, maybe you don't know him, so you just watch his videos. The reason why I like working with you is because Tusk is exactly the same person in a bar in Bogota at 4 a.m. or on the streets here in Cartagena or wherever in a video, in person, having coffee on a date.
You're calling me an alcoholic? Is that what you're saying?
Coffee. I said coffee.
To be honest, given the last 6 weeks, I've been absolutely burning the candle at the wrong end. We talk about balance, don't we? But yeah, it's been 80% debauchery, 20% kind of being healthy, but I need to flip it round, right? It needs to be 80% the other way around. But no, I appreciate
my point is, just in all honesty, you are exactly who you present yourself to be. And I strive to do the same thing. That's actually something I really respect about you.
I'd say you're a very genuine guy yourself. I think you've smoke and mirrors, and I find it very attractive in men and women, that authenticity, that, this is who I am, take it or leave it. That vulnerability to be yourself, I think it's super attractive. I think I think you're a similar, right? You are what you get.
I think it's why we click, because it's just easier to be around people like that. And so if you're watching Tusk's videos and you go, wow, I click with that dude, or anybody else's, there are other great coaches out there. There's a lot of, scam artists for sure, but there's probably 20% that are great. I don't know which ones, because I've only met maybe a dozen, but the key is you meet a guy online or something, you look at a guy, you do a little research, whether it's with my Forex stuff or crypto stuff or daygame stuff, you look at a guy, you ask yourself, does he live the life that he's preaching? Does he practice what he preaches? Is he legit? And then you look like, does it give good fruit in his life? Like, is he actually around beautiful women? Does he seem pretty authentic? Do they seem pretty authentic? Are they obviously hired? Whatever, right? And then if you like it and you're like, wow, I like his message. He actually talks about like respecting women and loving women and doing good in the world. Okay, then you go the next step. You talk in person to Tusk or me or whoever, and you get to know them a little bit on the phone, and then you queue up and you meet them in person, and you're going to get the gains of the time that they invested in their own craft. It's the same when like you could become an accountant by yourself. You don't have to go to university. The difference is it's going to take you 15 years. But if you go to university, it's going to take you 3. Why? Well, because you're going to be taught by people that have been studying accounting shit for 20 years, and they're going to make you learn faster, And that's the exact same thing. There's this huge lie, like in the West, the middle class and lower class financially, they believe that you do everything you can to save money. I go out to a restaurant and I choose it based on money, and I'm going to do home renovations. I want to save some money, and I go to Home Depot and I do it yourself, whatever. There's a whole movement around do it yourself, right? Right. Those are very low class people. That's the middle class and the lower class. They value their they value their money over time. So they will spend time to save money. The upper tier, it's the opposite. They very much value their time. And the idea of money is you spend money and save time. Right. So like here in Cartagena, I have a girl that cleans my place. I call her whenever I want, and I pay her 50 mil pesos, which is probably about 18 US, 17 US. I could just clean the toilets myself and save the money. Or I could just pay her that money and save 4 hours of my life. And she does fucking everything better than I could do it at my place. That's the classic example. Like that's how I just bought 4 hours of Clint time by paying somebody $18. That was a wise investment. You know, when I have a mentor, like when I learned how to do business stuff, I paid my accountant a lot of money. I probably paid him like 50, 70 grand over the years that I was with him.
Right.
But he taught me a lot of shit about business systems and taxes. And he made me more money than I paid him. And he fast-tracked my learning. So, you know, it's the same with you. You're in great physical shape and you know tons of shit about the gym. Yet you got a fitness coach.
Yeah. Well, I thought that's the thing. I thought I knew lots of shit about the gym, but I was going to the gym, and I've been going to the gym for 15 years. But no point had I ever looked in the mirror and gone, "Oh, I really like how I look." So really, I was kind of fooling myself, actually, thinking you know this whole idea you have to be a jack of all trades. You know, to complete the phrase, it's master of none. Any skill set I'm good at is because I've got a professional, and he is able to get me to where I want to go and save my fucking time, which is valuable. Like, you know, I'm learning Brazilian Portuguese. Am I trying to teach myself? No. I have a fucking like a professional teacher from Brazil, and then we'll do coaching like, you know, 3-4 times a week. JP obviously deals with our fitness and nutrition. He's the expert. We're not, you know, so it's like, yeah, it's a no-brainer for me. But it took me a while to realize that. So I can understand why guys don't get that and think they have to teach themselves, but it's a very ineffective way to do it. Australian John has asked you, any problems with local men there? Have you made friends? I'm not sure if he's asking, or what's he asking? maybe if you met on any girls.
I should clarify, I'm not bi.
You're not bi. Only after a few tequilas.
I have had, because I put a video when we were in Bogota, you and I went to Teatron with some other guys, and I put that on my Instagram. So I have had a number of guys hit on me.
Really? They hit you up? What?
And then I messaged them back, and I'm like, sorry, dude, I'm reserved just for Latinas.
Teatron was a good night.
I've made some friends here.
Club, yeah. What's that?
I have found that a few of my friends, this is a difficult thing in any culture. I'm sure you can relate to this when I tell you this. And I actually was just telling you my experience the other day because I love bouncing things off Tusk because you give me really good feedback and help me discover my own personal responsibility in situations. So I met a friend here 4 months ago, a guy who's well off, good guy. And we clicked really well, went and had lots of fun, did some traveling around. The guy doesn't date women much at all, even though he could. And I wanted to involve him in that part of my life. So I just openly tell him stories and encourage him, hey, if you ever want to go out, I'll teach you, whatever, right? And it obviously triggers fear in the guy, and he just doesn't want to do it. And then a lot of like passive aggressive jokes started coming out and whatever. And I kind of realized once again that, like, you know, my good friendships are like me and you. I pick a guy that already thinks the way that I think in life, and I stay with friends with that guy. I make friends with that guy. I choose to add him into my life, like I did when I met you in Vegas. That's much better than meeting a guy that is just a cool guy and trying to help him change his mindset around dating and women into my particular mindset. Even here, like, he was calling me a sugar daddy, and I was like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm clearly against paying women for their time, whether as a prostitute or as a sugar daddy. And he's like, yeah, but like, if you go out with a girl, you pay for her. I'm like, yeah, but I decide where we go. We go for coffee. Like, she's clearly not coming out. We'll go out for coffee. I pay $5, and then an hour later we go back to my place and have sex. She's clearly not coming out for free coffees. As some girls where we'll go out 3-4 times, I've spent a total of like $20, $30 Canadian. Like, that is not at all a sugar daddy. That's just being romantic. The guy should pay, but I pick the places we go to, you know? Sugar daddy is like, hey, why don't I buy you a new purse? Why don't me and you fly to Italy together? You know, like, she's getting some financial gain out of me, right? The girls I date, man, they don't need my money. And they don't even know anything about my money. I don't talk to girls about money. They just, hey, what do you do? Oh, I'm a coach. I just help guys improve their lives. She doesn't need to know what I do. She just needs, women like the quality of seeing a guy that's confident and bold and all those things, but she doesn't need to know the details. Oh, I've got X number of dollars and I do this with my money. Like, I would never talk to women about that shit. That's just stupid.
I agree with you. I agree. We've actually got an interesting one from Mr. Messo. Tusk, do you feel that the time you waste doing pickup, you could spend doing something more meaningful? I mean, it's what we do is not really pickup. I mean, pickup implies you're basically just banging women, tricking them into bed. It's not what we do. You know, we're very much about that seduction dance on both sides. You obviously have the physical connection. You have to find the girl attractive. Then you have that emotional connection where you have that beautiful kind of, time with a woman you really enjoy. I mean, that's living life as a man, in my opinion. And there's a reason there's a 50% divorce rate in the UK, right? Because people are marrying the wrong people from scarcity or just lack of options or not understanding this shit. So, what I do as a job is help men to kind of learn to meet women during daytime situations, outside of bars and clubs. Which is the most time-effective and cost-effective way to meet women. You can travel the world. You also build your skill set as a guy. You become more emotionally and socially intelligent. What I do for, in that work context is incredibly rewarding. I change lives. I impact people, right? I love what I do because I came from that background of scarcity and vulnerability with this stuff, and I'm feeling horrible about it. I was like, I don't want to be in this position again. So I learned this stuff. And I was like, why not? I love to travel. I love to help people. I love to work with, improving people's lives. Why not do that as a job? But alongside that, I probably do less day game now than I ever did when I did it as a hobby. So I'm trying to get in good shape. I'm doing, jiu-jitsu. I'm learning 2 or 3 languages. I'm building another side business. I'm going to be doing some crypto stuff with the Fox. There's all these other elements to your, building up your life and living that attractive reality. So yeah, I maybe haven't watched enough of the stuff on the channel, but I just encourage you to go back and try and watch and get a feel for what we actually do. Because it's not this 1990s fucking shit, mystery, tricking a girl into bed with 3 tricks. Like, because they've got no value. That's really not what we do, is it? At all. I'm glad you asked the question because it gave us an opportunity to try and spell out what we actually do.
I mean, when I get a student, we'll sit down and have coffee, obviously, at first, because everything's better with coffee. And so we sit down and have a coffee to start, and I get to know you a little bit and find out what your unique situation is. And maybe you're really afraid of blondes or tall girls or groups of girls or whatever, right? We identify some fears. And then when we start interacting with girls, right away, the guy will say, okay, tell me what to say. Give me a script, Give me, just at first, give me a script. And the first thing I'll say is we don't do that shit, man. That's mystery method shit. We don't do scripts. We don't do routines. I teach men how to interact and connect properly with the women that they're afraid of. I'm reading that question and I can't help but read into it that what the guy's actually saying is that, what you're doing and I'm going to piggyback. I know the question was to you, but essentially what you're doing in life, you could be doing something meaningful with your life, and instead you're wasting it out fucking chicks. So I'm just going to point out a couple things that I think make that bollocks, to use one of your words. First, every guy wants to live this life. So you're either going to tell me, yeah, you're right, I want to live that kind of life, or you're going to lie. Every fucking guy wants to be dating, spending time around, and having sex with gorgeous women that are in their prime. I don't give a fuck what culture you're in. If you say no to that, you're a liar. You're on this fucking channel. Why are you on this channel? Because you want to learn.
That's a great point. Isn't it?
So number one, obviously it's what you want to be doing, which is fine because every guy wants to be doing it. So let's just be honest. No bullshit, right? Number two, there's nothing wrong with that. There's something wrong with it if you're doing like what you said, which we do not preach, which is, lie and trick and steal and manipulate and take sex from these girls and then use another one and get notches on your belt or whatever, right? Then you're just a fucking loser. So revert back to what I said previously, save your time and money, go to Thailand, hire a bunch of prostitutes, have a miserable life, get a disease and go home and die. Number three, what we actually teach is how for two people to overcome fear and actually connect properly. What I do with women, I actually connect with them physically, sexually, emotionally, even I would say spiritually. I've got past the point. Before, when I was younger, I was like, oh my God, the girl's the girl's phenomenal. I want to have sex with her and be with her body and whatever. Then I started to discover, wow, there's stuff that's far more incredible about her than her body, because I've been with lots of beautiful women that have beautiful bodies. So you start to overcome the, oh my God, she's a model. Oh my God, she's whatever, right?
Right.
And, I remember the first time I was 42 and I had sex with a girl that was under 21 and I was like, oh my God, she's half my age. Again, something that I probably shouldn't have showed it. And And it was a big deal. And then you do it a bunch of times. It's no longer a big deal. I don't even notice it now, right? She's attractive, right? Now I've got to the point where the most erotic thing for me now, I mean, I'm only around women. I only date women and take their numbers and go on dates if I think that she's stunning and amazing to me. Then we go out, we have a good time. We go back to my place. We're having sex, or we're starting to be sexual. I love getting into a place of extreme deep connection and deep intimacy. I love talking to women about what their fears are, what their past experience have been, what their insecurities are about their bodies, what they want to learn, what they are ashamed of, whatever, right?
Right.
All this shit will come out. Women will be like, oh, I was a guy, my ex-boyfriend, and he said that my tits were ugly. Or I was with one girl and she'd had a kid, so she had like a couple tiny little stretch marks. And for her, it was so devastating. She was like, it's repulsive, it's disgusting. So it was amazing. Like, we were having sex and I was just like touching her stomach, which had like a couple tiny little stretch marks. She was still gorgeous to me. And my standards are much higher than most guys. So I was just like kissing her stretch marks and touching her and just saying, it's like you get this beautiful opportunity to speak light and hope and connection and masculinity. And it's not that you're reprogramming her, but it's that you get to speak into her wounds and you get to like meet in that place and give her freedom in that place. Oh my God, it was insane. So we were together maybe 4 days. I met this girl with you. This was the flight attendant, the Filipina flight attendant I met in Vegas for like 5 minutes. This is like 2 years ago.
First Vegas trip we did. First time I met you.
Yeah, I think it was maybe the one that I met you on or the next one. I met her for 5 minutes in Vegas. Then she's from Florida, Filipina flight attendant. Then we just kept in touch, texting for a couple of years. And then she came down to Colombia to see me for about 5 days or something, maybe a month and a half ago.
Right.
So at first she was like super, super, super guarded. And then I got her to lower her guards. And then she started opening up about some of her insecurities. One of them being these tiny little stretch marks. And she was fucking gorgeous. She had an amazing body. Like I don't know how to put a picture up, but I'd show you if I could. And then I just started interacting with her on that level. And to me, my God, that is so erotic. Like, even in the middle of sex, like literally talking to her about what I like about her and seeing the look in her eyes of like, oh my God, no guys have ever said that to me. She feels so free. She feels so connected. She feels so appreciated and beautiful and special. That's how you give women orgasms. And like, it's amazing to see a woman that's never experienced that before in her life. I mean, I can't think of something more meaningful than taking part in that, sharing that with women, and then also teaching other guys how to authentically connect with women in that way in their lives. And then you also learn how to connect authentically with men, non-sexual. Right. So I connect with you pretty deeply and authentically. We don't talk about like, hey, you see that soccer game? And we talk about pretty deep shit between me and you because that's what you do when you're not in your ego and afraid of judgment and you know how to connect. I think it's pretty meaningful. I fucking love it.
I mean, I'm loving it. I could listen to that all day. But you're right, we don't discuss soccer because neither of us like fucking soccer, right? I played rugby for a long time and I like UFC. You're into other stuff. You did a bit of Krav Maga and stuff, didn't you? But neither of us are like, oh, the fucking game. I'm from London. It's basically sacrilege to not watch soccer, but I just can't be fucked with that. There were a couple of other questions here. This is a really good one from Anon and On. What advice would you give to your younger self if you could go back?
Oof. That's probably, yeah, that's a good question that I should probably ponder regularly. Okay, a couple things. One, forget about sex. Like this day game is not about sex. You should be investing heavily into day game to become, this is what I'm saying I love meeting like, let's say 30-year-old Clint, because, right. and I meet him the odd time in other guys. And that's why I love coaching. And so I'm just envisioning that I'm meeting 30-year-old Clint right now. You need to invest in day game, not to get laid. You need to invest in day game because it's so expensive if you don't understand masculinity and femininity. It's so expensive in terms of clients fucking you over. It's so, in any business, with your employer, with your landlord, with your parents, with your family, with your sibling, whatever, and with the women you date, and potentially a woman you get pregnant or married. If you don't understand masculinity and femininity, you're fucking fucked. Good luck at that. Like, you're literally going out with the lions and you're going to get eaten alive. I would recommend really learn a lot about masculinity and femininity, and day game's a great way to do that. I would recommend stop limiting yourself. I have moments now. I have a really good buddy here that is in crypto arbitrage, and I'm getting into it with him. We're setting up a company so I can get my investor visa here in Colombia so I can stay here longer. And he's from Belgium, and he's got a business background too. He used to have furniture companies. And so we were talking the other day about how funny it is, because before, when we were in our businesses with employees and in the stress and the risk, money was so hard to make. And we were like, fuck, you have to work so hard to get ahead, and you put in all these hours. And I mean, I did that for decades, putting in so much time to make the money because it was so hard to make. And I was talking to him, and I just opened my phone and I looked at what one of my portfolios did in crypto. Like, I've shown you a couple of times just for fun. I'm not like millionaire guy or anything like that, but crypto is just incredible. And so I opened one of my portfolios and I was like, holy shit, dude. And I showed him the amount and I was like, that's what I made in the last hour. And of course you have bad hours and bad weeks and bad days and good days and bad days. The point wasn't I'm a rock star. I was sharing it with him because I know we think the same, and why I've shared it with you too. And the point was, like, I thought that was impossible before. And so I couldn't do it. And now I understand it's totally doable. And now I see it's totally doable. I made, like, in an hour what I would have made in 2 months before in business, you know? And I was like, holy shit, I wasn't in the mud. I didn't take on much risk. And I was just like, what a fucking difference. And it was largely because my mind before just couldn't comprehend that was possible. The same with dating. Like, if I looked at the women that I date now and I said, like, oh, once you're divorced, you'll be dating her. Dude, there is not even 1% of me that would have believed you. It was like, that's literally impossible. It's fucking impossible. And now I have moments where I'm with a girl and I'm just like, oh my God, I had no idea that was possible. Like I told you the story about the girl that I met outside the club, and she was with her mom and her sister, and me and my buddy took her back to my patio, and she's 21. I think the most gorgeous feminine woman I've ever met in my life. Even more feminine than the girl from Bogota that you said was fucking amazing. Okay? So
she was hot. The one that was on the video. She's actually on the channel. If you guys Google it, just type in Mr. Fox interview or sort of James Tusk or something, and it will come up with you had her on the channel, right?
Yeah, this girl was probably the most gorgeous woman I've ever interacted with. And then she came back the next weekend and we spent a night together. And then after that, I think I got a bit of one-itis and I burned it by accident. But I was literally sitting there with her, just kissing her and touching her and going like, I couldn't sleep the whole night. I was laying awake because I was just like, even now, even in my own experiences and stories, I was like, this cannot be happening. My brain cannot fathom it, you know? And so I think if I was talking to 30-year-old Clint, I'd be like, do a lot of shit to make your brain get bigger in what you can fathom, because you limit yourself. I limit myself with my own self-limiting beliefs.
We all do, right? It's
important to blow through those.
We all do. It's the FDR quote of men are not prisoners of fate, but prisoners of their own minds. We create our own prisons. We have the key to them, you know, and the other side of that, as you touched on earlier, is the other side of fear is enlightenment. And if you can get rid of that fear, basically the only reason we don't do stuff in life is because of fear, right? And overthinking stuff and telling ourselves stories. It's fucking bullshit. There's no base of that on reality. Would that be, just tying in this to this guy's question, he's obviously been inspired by you, say, Mr. Fox. I thought I'm too old for this, not anymore. Was that the approach you're most proud of, that 21-year-old you just touched on, or was there another one that stands out, or a few?
I have had a few, and the reason why I was most proud is because, I mean, what I actually love about doing this now, I love the guy that I am in the moment, because I know I'm not being fake. I'm actually being more authentic and fearless, like not controlled by fear, than I am ever. You know, so I have these moments where I'm like 80% authentic Clint, 90% authentic Clint, 100% authentic Clint. Those moments are fucking delicious to be a part of, you know? And so if I stop doing it, then I'm 50% authentic Clint in the way that I interact with women. And it's not nearly as fun and you don't have nearly as good results. So yeah, I can think of definitely that one was mind blowing. And not because she was so gorgeous. I mean, for me, she was fucking gorgeous. But it was because holy shit, I cannot believe that I did that. Like I cannot believe it was so natural. Like I was literally talking with one of my buddies on a patio about Bitcoin. And then the patio got closed out. It was midnight. And so we walked off to the side of the patio. And then while we're talking, these 5 people walked out of this nightclub. There's 3 girls and 2 guys with face masks on. And the one girl didn't have a face mask on. And she was like, I wish I knew how to put a picture up. Can I put a picture up here? Do you know how?
It is doable. JP did it the other day. With
Hang on for a second here. Okay, can I send you a picture? Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not important.
I also don't know how to put a picture up. I'm a technological retard.
I wish I could. You know what? I'll forward you a picture. We'll put it in the link below.
Well, that could be the thumbnail if you forward me the picture.
Okay, I'll forward you the picture. Anyway, for me, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. This is like exactly what I'm hunting for every time I'm looking for a beautiful woman. And so they come out of this club, and she's with these 2 guys, and these other 2 girls are kind of off to the side with their face masks on. And then one of the guys comes over because he hears us talking about Bitcoin, so he walks over and starts talking to us. And then I'm looking at the other 2, and I'm like, "What's going on there? Is that boyfriend, girlfriend?" And then I mean, this girl was like literally like $1,000 an hour escort material, like
really?
Without a doubt, right? So then I actually thought she must be an escort because she's just too hot, right? So then I look, and he's taking her number, the other guy. So I'm like, ooh, game on. So then the guy takes her number and leaves her and walks over to join his friend with us. And she's like 3 meters away from us. So he walks over to join us, and I'm like, oh, hey, dude. And just as I shake his hand, she looks up, and I look at her. We make eye contact, and I just walk past the guy and walk over to her. And I mean, the way I open is very direct. Eye contact, excuse me. I just have to tell you, I was with my friends, and you look fucking stunning. Like, I don't remember if I said it in Spanish or English, but that's basically what.
Well, you can't say it in Spanish, let's be honest.
Yeah, I can say it in butchered Spanish, right? And then I just tell her what I like about her. She actually thankfully spoke English as well. So I just tell her, like, seriously, look at your clothes. This is stunning, that's stunning, whatever. I think she had her face mask on, and I was looking in her eyes, and they were stunning. And her body was over the top. And then she took her face mask off, and she's gorgeous. So then she's laughing and giggling, and she's into it. And then it turns out the other 2 girls are her mom and her sister. And so I said, they were closing down everything at the time because of COVID. And I said, what are you guys doing right now? You know, because they're closing down the city. I don't know. We kind of feel like doing something. Come to my place. Let's go have a couple beers. So you
invited them all, the mum, the daughter, and the sister. And also, just to explain before you carry on, it's a key
and my
point.
buddy.
But just before you carry on, Mr. Fox, I just wanted to highlight a key point you said is brilliant, like, to see your interpretation of scenarios. Most guys will see a stunning girl and see a guy getting their phone number and be like, oh, fuck my life's over. You're like, I love the way you told that, because you're like, right, oh, great, he's taking the phone number. He's not even he's blowing himself out. He's not like, this is game on for me. And I love that interpretation. That's a guy in my mind that gets it. You see it as an opportunity. You're like, fuck, right, this is game on. He's blowing himself out. He's getting a phone number for seeing off. And you're like, fuck it, I'm going to go for it.
To me, it's actually about, it's, you know, I would even say that, you know, guys say women are so entitled and blah, 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 blah. You know, I think to a degree, women too deserve certain things. Obviously, they deserve respect. And I like doing that. But I think also, you know, you got to understand women put in a tremendous amount of effort into themselves. Guys don't understand this. You know, the way she's done her hair, she's paid a lot of money for that. You know, her nails, she's paid a lot of money. Her skin cream, the time in learning how to do makeup on YouTube, this, going to the gym, paying for the clothes, buying the shoes, buying the purse, learning. Like, fuck, women pay a tremendous amount of time and energy to invest in themselves. So she's already done all that shit long before I met her. Now I look up and I see this stunning, fucking gorgeous feminine woman. I actually think she deserves to be appreciated properly.
Right.
So I walk over to her because it's like, wow, you put in all this work and now I'm giving you like positive reinforcement. Now I'm giving you what you've earned. My attention, my appreciation. And so I walk over to her to tell her, wow, fucking hot, you know? And then she might say, I have a boyfriend, I'm married, I'm lesbian, or I don't know, right? Or I'm just not interested, or thank you very much, but you're too old. She can do whatever she wants to do with that. But my job is to go and give her my authentic appreciation of what she's done. So that's what I did. And then we go back. So like within 10 minutes, we're in a taxi. She's sitting on my lap. I got my arms around her. Her mom's beside me. I'm like whispering shit into her ear and she's giggling. I'm like, holy shit, I love my life. We go to my place, which is just fucking sick. I've got a really nice place here because my buddy hooked me up. I'm paying like a third market value or a quarter market value because of COVID. And I have like a stick patio overlooking the ocean and shit. So go back to my place. Sitting on the patio. Mom has migraine, so I offer mom to go lay down in the second bedroom. So Buddy's hitting on her sister over on the couch. I'm sitting on the patio with this divine little thing, like flirting with her, talking about sex, talking about, what does she want to try? What has she tried? What were her best sexual adventures? Whatever. Anyway, it wasn't possible to do anything because mom was there. I tried kissing her a few times. She kept blowing me out. And then walked her back to her hotel. Then the next weekend she came back and hit me up at like 12:30 at night for a booty call and came over, and it's fucking amazing. And then after that, I wasn't able to, I'm still in touch with her, but I wasn't able to get her to come back. I'm going to her city in Barranquilla in a week. So who knows? Maybe there'll be a part 2. Maybe I'll do a video with her if possible.
That'd be fucking cool. I think guys would love to see that. I love that story.
I would love that if it's possible. I even told her, like, we were chatting and I said, hey, why don't you do a video with me? I coach guys how to be more masculine. You could coach women how to be more feminine. Why don't we do a video together?
Yeah, I remember you mentioned it.
We'll see. Maybe I can. I don't know. No promise.
Fingers crossed. We're going to go last question, guys, because the Fox has generously given us an hour and a half of his time. And I know
totally misunderstood.
A woman's a charm. Sorry, guys. I love meeting new girls, but I feel empty and feeling of shit. I can be doing something meaningful. I mean, I feel you're not going into this with the right mindset. This is a beautiful thing, right? Meeting genuinely attractive women that you can have this amazing connection with. You're obviously missing something here. So what I encourage you to do is send me an email, info@jamestoss.com, and me, you and Clint can have a chat about things. But there's something missing here, right? How would you interpret that?
Well, first I want to apologize because obviously I don't know even the guy's first name. I can just read in like size 0 font. With
L. It's just L. It's L.
Mateo. So first, I just want to apologize. Obviously, I'm just assuming what my interpretation of your first question was in size 1 font. So if that's not what you meant, total apologies, but it was answering some other guy's question, essentially, because some guys do think that. Thank you for the clarification. A couple things. So you go out and meet girls, and then after you feel empty and piece of shit, like you should have been using your time more efficiently or more productively. There's a couple things that could be going on there. I recommend as well, reach out to Tusk because he's got a good mind, and you can at the very least get some third-party insight into it. But I would say you're probably in a Western culture. Doing this kind of interacting with women is extremely frowned upon because for all different reasons. Largely just because it's got a negative connotation and it's framed in a negative way, like the 1980s mystery method bullshit, which was based on manipulation, right? And so I always look at sex like 2 things. Most guys, 95% of guys, they have sex to take energy from women. So they go around like parasites and they're looking for some woman to take sex from. And they lie and they play nice and they buy drinks. Sometimes they pay her money. They do whatever they got to do to try and get sex out of her. They think that the idea is to take sex.
Right.
Those are very lower tier guys. Women can usually smell it. They don't want to be used by those guys. Sometimes they'll let themselves be used because they have no better options, or because they're bored, or because they have low values and issues. That was the mystery method thing, was like to try and get women to feel bad about themselves. So they'll let you use them to try and make them feel better about themselves.
Manipulative, very manipulative.
Yeah. And that was the idea of nagging and all that shit. Now, personally, I think that's disgusting. And if that's what you're doing, then that is why you feel negative and dirty after, because you've gone out with a girl and you've taken from her. And afterward, you feel guilty. The same way as if you went into a store and you took a couple chocolate bars. If you have a good conscience, afterward, you're going to feel like, oh, fuck, I don't think I should have done that. I stole, And that's a good thing that you have a conscience, you have a soul. That's not what I do. I go and I give to women. I don't give them money. I give them my time, and I give them an experience that is fucking incredible for them. And I give to them sexually. That's why I'm very selective the women that I'm with, because a lot of women don't deserve that. You know, maybe 5 or 10% do. So I know that when we have sex, it's like a net loss for me because I'm giving some of myself. And afterward, I'm going to feel a little bit empty. If I spend 3 or 4 days with a girl and we have lots of incredible experiences, I'm going to feel tired after. You know, I haven't slept a lot. I've given a ton of sexual energy away and a ton of encouragement. I need to take a few days to recharge. You know, when you discover how to interact with women in that giving way, well, then you are in the upper tier, and women love being around you because they love to feel better about themselves and they love to have those kinds of experiences. And it has nothing to do with money. And then you don't feel guilty because you are actually improving her life. Women will actually tell you, I could give you screenshots of texts. Women afterward will actually thank you. They will thank you tremendously. Like, you have sex with this girl and afterwards she's crying, thanking you for having sex with her. It's like mind-boggling. She'll send you a text after, I've never orgasmed before. That was so incredible. When can I come see you again? Like, women actually talk like that. And not all the time, but I mean, I have those experiences. And so I think I would evaluate, you know, what you're doing in this situation. How much are you giving and how much are you taking? And if you're really, really, really giving, and if you're really, 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 really are being authentic and not lying to the girls and not manipulating, then it could be just some baggage. You know, your parents maybe are from a certain culture where they shame the idea of having sex outside of marriage, or maybe there's religious overtones, or there's some kind of programming where you have to actually learn to reframe what you're doing as something different, because lots of people will frame it as, oh, obviously you're using women because you're 40 and she's 20. It's like, I don't use these girls. These girls are like sober. I never have sex drunk. They're completely sober. They're completely by their own choice, repeatedly, for years. So she's not getting money. Why do you think she's there, man? I would say that.
I've seen the dynamic that you operate on with women, and you really are unique in the sense that you truly believe and you are giving them genuine value. And the difference in that is completely different to, you know, maybe the average guy is chasing a girl out, begging the girl to go on a date with him. And I've seen women around you after you've dated them and for a period of time, they're genuinely, you've given them an experience. They have this look in their eye of like, you've given them an experience that hasn't been replicated elsewhere. You genuine give life is about experience, right? Especially, I mean, obviously from our point of view, it's not about materials in my mind. It's about experiences, because that's all we have in life, right? So
huge.
For you, it's like you've genuinely given them some sort of fucking gift. I guess the way you put it is that this gift of a masculine guy who's owned himself, owning his reality, and knows how to interact with a woman, you know, sexually, physiologically, mentally, emotionally. And I've seen these girls, and they're literally like blown away by it. They can't believe it.
Yeah, it's the same. It's the exact same feeling that I had when I met my ex the first time I met a feminine woman. I mean, it was literally cocaine. Like, I remember literally, like, not even having sex, but just like sitting across from her at a table at a restaurant and just being like everything, her nails, the way she walked, her little wedge shoes. Like, I can remember all that shit. It's burned into my brain the same way a guy would the first time he did ecstasy, you know? Because it was like a massive drug for my system. And that's what I give to women. They've never interacted. Most women from Colombia, from Mexico, from Canada, from Britain, they've never met a masculine guy.
Right.
Like, they could be 25, they could be 35. They've been with men. They've been with dicks. I mean, both physically and metaphorically. They've had sex. You know, they know the birds and the bees and shit, right? But they've never been with a man that understands how to be masculine. When you understand how to do that, you are literally lighting the fire. She's walking around yearning to experience. I mean, all you have to do, watch a romance movie. Watch The Notebook, okay? These romance movies, why are like soap operas and romance movies, I mean, and romance novels? I mean, it's bigger than the porn industry. So obviously they're giving women something that they're aching, and what they're aching for is to experience that masculine experience. And if you watch any of these movies, they all have the same fucking storyline and the same theme. And the theme is always around the guy is so courageous, he's so bold, she feels so feminine around him. it's stimulating her feelings and she loves it. And that's why women watch all these movies and read these books. And so when you can give that to a woman authentically in real life, you literally have no competition. I mean, I don't get every woman that I approach. I have no idea what my ratios would be, but it's, if I had to guess, I'd say I probably get 99% of the numbers that I try. Like if I interact with a girl, for me, this is how it works. I see a girl walk by and I either know if I want to be sexual or not. And if she looks beautiful, but I don't want to be sexual, I approach her, give her appreciation as a friend. We laugh and joke and I walk away. If I really love her femininity and there's fire and I like her, then I'll take her number and start escalating it. Then I could probably get 99% of numbers. And then of the numbers, I start texting her and maybe 10 or 20% will lead to actually going out in person. I have no idea. Maybe it's 10%.
Right.
And some just won't even reply. Some will say, how old are you? Oh, no, I'm not interested, or I'm married, or whatever, right? And then maybe that's 10-ish% or something, right? And then we go out on a date. And I would say probably about 60% of those will lead to varying degrees of deliciousness, which could be one time. It could be just kissing. It could be, now I'm seeing that girl for 3 years, something, you know? It's because she's never experienced that kind of masculinity. It's not me. Like, that's the thing. Is it actually, this is why, and I never understood this initially when I met you in Vegas. I get invited to help out on this boot camp. There's like 6 other coaches or something. And it's led by the almighty James Tusk. And I knew nothing about you except one of my friends watched some of your videos and said you were a good guy. I know nothing except I'm expecting, okay, this guy's going to be extremely arrogant because he's traveling the world teaching guys how to have sex with women, right? So I walk in the room, Airbnb, there's 6 coaches in there. I start meeting guys. I'm feeling insecure because I'm like, I just started doing a little bit of coaching and I'm older than everybody and whatever. Right. And then in walks the almighty Tusk with his scorpion tattoo. And I'm like, obviously this guy's extremely arrogant. Like, it's just a given. And then I start talking to you. I'm like, what the fuck? This guy like is super fucking humble. I was like, what the fuck? This guy literally has every reason to be arrogant. Most people would say, yeah, he's got a pass. He's allowed to be arrogant because of X, Y, Z. You're just a humble dude. That's one that I liked about you immediately, right? And it took me a couple years maybe to figure out why. It was just like, I can't figure that out, you know? And then I realized like, oh, like at least for me, I think part of the reason is you recognize it's not you. It's not James Tusk that women love being around. It's the experience that you create with them. And you would probably put this in different words, but it's how they feel around you. You know, and the way I define that is my masculinity. And so I give her access to masculine energy and she loves the experience. The same as when I met my ex, she gave me access to feminine energy and I loved the experience. But back then I didn't know anything. So I thought that the feminine energy was my ex. So I stayed with her and I married her and shit. It wasn't. Now I can be around that feminine energy with dozens of different women. So I can be selective. I just pick the good ones, you know, and then just enjoy that energy. But that's what I give women. So it's not an ego boost. It's to understand how to give women connection to masculine energy. And women need that and they love it.
That's yeah, I love the spiels. I could listen to this all day.
I'm not reading the comments, but I read that one comment.
Yeah, I love it as well. But yeah, I mean, just I get that. I get that a fair bit. People have this perception of who I'm going to be, and you know, I think life is just about acting the same way around people and being consistent. And again, knowing yourself. And there's a difference between being. I'd say I'm a fairly confident guy, but I don't see arrogance as an attractive trait. I think it's an extremely unattractive trait, and actually a sign of a massive insecurity. But you kind of have to show off and validate yourself to other people and like walk in like I'm Billy Big Balls. It's an act, right? Because you're not fucking, you haven't really sorted your life out and you're bullshitting yourself and other people.
It's part of the reason why guys in their 20s have a lot of difficulty getting women, because you don't know who you are yet. And so you puff up your ego and you say, this is who I am. And I did the same. I had a motorbike. I outran cops. I had a leather jacket. I was blah, blah, blah. This is who Clint is. And then you get a little bit older and you start to discover, oh, you can just, instead of puffing up, you can just be who you are. And when people don't like that, they can fuck off. And when people do like it, if you like them, you can be friends with them, you know? I just read the comment from Felipe, I think. I can't quite read it because the font's so small.
I'm going to read it out to you because it's so good. I literally just watched a Mr. C video, and I've never seen a native speaker speaking English the way he speaks Spanish so well, and I'm bilingual in Spanish. I think either he's being quite facetious or he's trying to get you into bed. But you can't be watching the same person because Mr. C's Spanish is, it's Spanglish at best. It's poor Spanglish. So I'm not sure whether you've been Googling some other Mr. C who's like maybe like a what do you call it when you speak multiple languages? Polylinguist or something.
That's funny. I'm going to assume he's taking the piss out of me.
That's assuming
or maybe it's legit. Maybe he can clarify. Maybe it's authentic. I do regularly have women will be on a date and like an hour into the date, she'll just kind of look at me and she'll say, not even mean, just like observationally, she'll be like, you know, your Spanish is really bad. I've had that happen a dozen times. And at first I'd be a little bit like, oof, and now I just laugh. And I'm like, but it is funny because you start to discover it's not really important. You know? Like when you can connect on multiple levels, connecting through words is actually the weakest, poorest way to connect to a woman.
I agree. And we talked about the eye contact earlier and all that. This has been a brilliant conversation. We've gone for an hour and 40. I guess the best thing to do is wrap it up now, and then we can go again in maybe 10 days' time. I think you can guys a shitload of value. I think this is going to be super popular when guys watch it back. Any kind of concluding thoughts? Anything you want to kind of talk about with the Forex or the day game stuff? Or
not really. I guess the biggest thing that I would drive home, because this is just kind of a place that I'm at right now, and I think it's important to get out there because I love being authentic. I love being honest. I love, I think there's a clarification. Oh, it's not the best, but maybe if you're picking up with these.
So he's now saying it's not the best. I think he's a bit of old school.
It takes you a week to speak.
It's old school fish and poets. Oh, have the compliment. Actually, no.
And imagine the video, even though it looks like it takes forever, that's on fast forward when I'm speaking Spanish. That's on like 5x. No. That's how I get the girls to stick around because they're just like, what the fuck is he saying? And I have hours of time with them to speak.
That's true. You buy yourself some time.
But what I was going to say is, I think it's my own take on the most important thing here. I like being open that I don't pay girls, partly because I really care about the girls that I'm with. And so if you guys come on my channel or on some of the videos are on Tusk channel, you'll see some of the girls, and they're actually, I think, absolutely incredible, beautiful human beings. Like I'm very selective. I'm only around good people, even guys or girls. And so I really like guys knowing that I don't do any of the sugar shit and whatever, not for my ego, but because then that's basically calling these women prostitutes. And I've had guys comment that on videos, like, oh, how much do you pay the girls to come in your video? It's like, wow, dude, like how disgusting of a view of women. Like these are extremely sweethearts. And so part of it is just me being protective of their own people's view of them, I guess you could say. But my own opinion on it. I think guys should really avoid being with prostitutes or paying like in a sugar daddy scenario. And the reason why I say that, I mean, if you want to jerk off, if you want to get your load off, watch porn. It's fine. It's fine to use videos. Well, in my opinion, it's fine to use videos and just get your rocks off. Never use women that way in real life. It's just so trashy, you know. And I don't care how much money you have, what culture you're from, what color your skin is. If your view of women is that you're going to like go out and pretend to be nice to this girl, pretend you're a cool guy so that you can use her body to get your rocks off, you are just so disgusting and pathetic. And you're really missing out on really good shit in life, which is connecting to her femininity. You're like the guy that goes to the buffet and eats a tomato. Like, dude, you're at this fucking incredible buffet and you eat a tomato, or worse, you eat a McDonald's hamburger at the buffet. You're at this like 5-star hotel buffet and you're eating a hamburger and then sitting down satisfied. I'm not. I'm going for the best stuff, you know? And so I think it's really important. Don't pay women for sex ever. Don't. If you've been with prostitutes, stop, dude. And it's not because you're doing something immoral and illegal. No. Like, fine. She's a consenting adult. You're a consenting adult. You're not abusing her or using. You're paying for pay to play. Okay. But what you're doing is you're training yourself. This is the tragic thing. You're training yourself, number one, that women are to be used for your sex, which they're not. And number two, that you are such a inept human that you have to compensate a woman to spend her time around you. You're communicating to your own soul that, you have no value. You bring no value aside from your wallet. To me, that is so devastating to the male psyche. Stop that shit. And same with the sugar daddy shit. Just stop it. Look at Tusk as a way to get help and get out. And you can get out. And then you can connect with women authentically. And then you can discover, like, holy shit, she doesn't want to be around me to access to my wallet. She wants to be around me because she wants to experience being with a man. It's so much better. Then it's like the sex is just the icing on the cake. But I personally think that's kind of the massive advice that I would give to guys. I mean, I've never been with a prostitute. I'm grateful to say. I'm very proud of that. I've never paid a sugar daddy scenario. I've never paid a prostitute. It wasn't because I was such a stallion when I was younger. It's just I didn't. I probably would have got into it, had I not got into daygame. Because at some point you get older and you want to be with the younger birds, right? But I mean, that's I think the takeaway for me.
Good stuff. It's been brilliant. What we're going to do is link all of the Foxes. We'll put a link to his channel on there because a few of you guys have been asking for his channel. And we'll put a link to his Forex channel, which is that separate from the daygame stuff, or is that the same channel?
Yeah, if anybody wants to find out about the financial stuff, hit me up. We'll have a chat. I don't really connect the two worlds because I have clients in my Forex stuff that are not in this world. And so I kind of keep my masculinity training, coaching a little bit separate from my financial coaching. And so I interview people, and if I think we're a really good fit, then we can progress along the financial lines or along the masculinity lines. So we can put a link up to my coaching site, and then we can easily arrange a chat and see where things go.
And if you want to watch more of Fox, and there's some really good infields of him in Colombia, and us doing some really good advice videos in Colombia, just go onto YouTube after this and type in James Tusk, silverfox, Mr. C, and it'll come up with all his stuff. And there's some really cool stuff from when we went to Barranquilla Carnival. That was cool. We've had some really good chats on camera about stuff. I'm looking forward to catching up for a bit. I mean, it's a shame because I was going to come and see you, but I can't physically get into Colombia.
Yeah, it was shit. In January, we were going to get together for a few weeks, and then they fucking locked down Europe and all that shit. Are you
going to be coming to Europe, or are you going to be staying in your Colombian castle?
I've decided I'm going to come.
Really?
So definitely, when you're in Eastern Europe, I don't think I'll be. I want to go to the UK. I've never had sex with a girl with a British
accent. Forget it. Yeah, I'll save you the time, man. It's not worth it.
Not my type. But
I'm going to Eastern Europe. You'll have a blast. Or you know where you'd actually like Turkey. Turkish women, pretty feminine. They love a foreign guy.
I've heard they're not that into shaving and stuff.
Into shaving?
The
ones I've been with were pretty well groomed, I'd say. Maybe just got enough.
I'm thinking Eastern Europe, like Ukraine, Poland, somewhere in there, just because I've never been. And I think it would be fun to broaden my horizons.
There are some very feminine women in Russia and Ukraine, and they actually brought in, they experienced feminism a few decades ago, and actually they turned themselves a post-feminist society because the women were like, fuck this, we want gender roles in place, we want men to be men, and that allows us to be women, and it's okay to spend 3 hours getting ready for a guy and look after him and cook for him and clean for him. That's what we fucking want. So
and in that scenario, women are real ball busters. They're really going to test masculinity a lot, which I love, because it's like when a woman's testing you, it's a great way to work out your masculinity muscle, So I would expect that I'm going to enjoy that a bit. And
if you can get I'd love to see you in Russia. We can run some joint boot camps because I'm due to be in St. Petersburg and Moscow, the two big cities, and also the Russian kind of coastal place where they will hang out on the beach called Sochi. I'll also be in Poland and Ukraine. So more than welcome to come and join us.
If I'm to come for like a month or maybe 2 months, roughly, do you have an idea when you're going to be there?
Yeah, the whole of July I'll be in Russia.
Okay, so maybe I'll plan the summer, June, July, August, one or the other.
July, August. If it's August, maybe Georgia, which is kind of like a throwback to the 70s version of Russia, very untouched. Basically what Belarus was a few years ago before it got overrun. I mean, it's exciting times, and I'm looking forward to catching up with you for a bit because we haven't actually seen each other in the flesh for far too fucking long. since last January, wasn't it, in Colombia?
Yeah, January or February.
Over a year ago.
Cool.
Man, that's insane. It's actually insane, isn't it?
Yeah. Dude, great time. I just want to say one quick thank you as well, because I know, you're one of the guys that I'm really grateful to have in my circle of friends. I've bounced a lot of ideas off. You're kind of my go-to guy when I have a drama issue.
Oh, like God, I'm a fucking agony on it, and I don't even get paid for it. It's a disaster.
Yeah, it's a net loss for you, but a net gain for me. So at least one of us, it's 50-50, right? But
so
no, seriously, an honest thank you. And, it's been a lot of fun working with you in the past. And I'm
the feelings are mutual. And what I'm excited about with the group of guys we know is they're all cool guys. They're all walking the walk, talking the talk, and living life on our own terms. And that's what's attractive for people watching, and that's what they buy into. So, yeah, it's brilliant. It's exciting. I can't wait to see you in Europe as well, because that'll be a new challenge for you. But I think you're going to love Russian women. I think they're going to match Colombians and Venezuelans in terms of femininity. Obviously very different culturally, but very testy, very feminine. So I think we're going to get some really cool footage of us as well. And now I've got these little DJI camera, which is basically like you can film anywhere, anytime. It means you can't even tell it's a camera, right? It's tiny. And it shoots in 4K, and you've got wireless mics. You can get incredible footage. So that'll be really, really fun.
That'll be fun. The only thing I got to figure out is if I'm going to go with the Silver Tsar or maybe the Russian fox.
The Russian fox. The Silver Tsar. Fox. They're both very
Siberian
good.
Fox? The Siberian fox.
If we make it to Siberia, if we get on the Trans-Siberian on that long train where you just hop off at random place and like down vodka with babushkas and it's deep snow, and then you get back on because you get chased by a bear, and then you arrive in Siberia, we can call you the Siberian fox.
I'm going to have to remember to stop hitting on women on a date if we're on the Siberian Express. I'm going to be like, fuck, I'm stuck on this train with her for like 2 more days going through the wilderness. And her husband's pissed off and he's a Russian.
You can just jump down. You can jump down to the next carriage. They are big trains. They're sleeper trains. Work your way down, day gaming along the Trans-Siberia. That would be, I tell you what, if we can get some footage of that, that would be
nuts. Start at the front, work all the way to the back, and then hop off the back of the train and get on the next one.
Yeah, and they're those old school trains, like proper Soviet Union, people just drinking vodka, like, weird kind of some guy playing a violin. Like, I really fucking
a constant theme of alcohol coming from you.
It is vodka. I mean, it is Russia. It's Mother Russia, right? Vodka is cheaper than water. But I'm super excited. I can't wait to get some footage of that. It's a pleasure having you on. You've given a fuckload of value to people. So please, guys, if you want to show some appreciation for Mr. Fox and you want to work with him, get in touch. I'll leave his email below, so either message him about the Forex stuff or the day game stuff, or message me and I'll put you in touch on a WhatsApp group, whatever. But yeah, man, shitloads of value. I can't wait to do this again. And we'll say goodbye.